Just for fun, here's a story, a novel. So there's a character. He's walking around and he thinks, is this real? Someone is trying to communicate with me through other people. Am I hallucinating? There's actually real world events, normal everyday life, unexplainable, direct communication. He says, well, this is fundamentally profound, prolific. Clearly, this is meant only for me, or maybe there are other people. How would I know? So time goes on. He notices again. The thing is, he walks into a building. A person appears unusual, act out of the ordinary for the circumstance, for the situation, for themselves. They're having a conversation, they're acting out of character. They're doing things, helping this person, saying things that would benefit him, being on his side when it should be a little more adversarial in its nature. A person maybe going against their nature suddenly for no reason. A random person they've never met. A situation that would have turned out bad, but because of this, something good comes of it. Afterwards, it's as if a light switch turned off. The person goes back to a mundane task, notices the character as if it was the first time they were speaking. Sometimes they even verbally confirm this and say, can I help you with something? Or they change their mood. They don't seem to remember the conversation. So he starts thinking, what is this most similar to? Some type of remote viewing, just something in Battlestar Galactica, I believe. The only way that they can visit their family is that they can basically travel. They can send their consciousness to another person. So it's like a host. Sounds kind of crazy, but this is the way they did it. So if you want to visit your wife and have a conjugal visit, you want to smash, you could use the other guy's body. So this dude shows up and the wife is there and it's like, honey, yeah, it's me. This is weird. Well, I mean, get over it. I'm me. I'm having this experience. I'm just using the body. Let's just say, for sake of argument, this is a real technology. Just say that it's not that far-fetched at all. Let's just say that it's a proven thing, just like cell phones. It's normal, ubiquitous. It's used every day, just like in the show. So we have a team of scientists, and we're like, hey, look at these nerds. over here in the solar system, Elon Musk has sent some Optimus robots, and they were flying through space, and they found some dudes. And they're like, hey, crazy. Well, he's like, send the machine. Okay. Well, that would take 400 years. All right. We have this technology. And suddenly, you're like the deity, visiting the ancient tribe coming from the clouds. You know what I mean? Just say that this was a thing. And you find a planet, and that the only way that you could visit there is by some remote connection. So, connect to the person. The person is unaware, suppresses their consciousness, like their conscious mind. So it puts them asleep, basically. And then you're like the pilot, piloting a drone. Full awareness, cognitive ability, walking around, looking around. What better way to blend in with an indigenous life form on their home planet? That might be the reason for it, or it might be out of necessity. So you have a group of people. You walk in to a supermarket at 2 a.m. For some reason, completely deserted, except these 10 people. You walk in, and they all seem to notice you, but more than they should. Something happens. There's something that you see. There's an indication, and there's a feeling. There's also something that you can sense. Just how you can sense when you're in a swimming pool. You have a feeling of being in water. There's a sense that you something is, let's say, interfacing with you. The only way to say it was, if this is the movie, let's just say it's psychically. Something is reaching out, or just getting in enough proximity to you where you're both in the same reference frame, sharing an experience, an event. For example, you and I are both in a forest. I have a flashlight. You're far away. As I walk up with the flashlight at nighttime, you start to see the light. Once you start to see the light, we're connected in one event, the light. I'm there, you're viewing it, I'm viewing it. And the closer I get, it becomes more apparent to you that I'm holding the light I can see you, you can see me. The light isn't doing anything to you. It's not an Ethernet cable connecting to a port. It's not a psychic message transmitted like a radio wave and received like an antenna and some frequency crystal bullshit. No. It's something real, but not tangible, and nothing that we would be able to explain. Just like the villager would not be able to explain the flashlight event, though they're a part of it. The closer you get to that tribesman, the more he is in awe, because the closer he is to the glory that is your limitless power, which is beyond his comprehension and makes you God. So you are somewhere, suddenly someone is telling you, we are here. Then indirectly you're coming to the knowledge from them that they have your best interest at heart, in mind. Or at the very least, they don't take things so seriously as much as we do, because it's not that critical. We are obsessed with self-gratification, self-satisfaction, to a point that it's not that there aren't any solutions, it's just that we ignore them to such a degree that it's I can't think of a good analogy. There's so much potential that we are like a grain of sand on a beach, and the way that we're being viewed, it's being allowed for us to know we take ourselves way too seriously, and that is unnecessary, and that anytime we could stop. It's like a drug addict. They act like the problem is that they don't have enough drugs. You see? Always we're looking externally. Our answers are here. We have already answered all our questions, and we're searching for something we'll never find. But we're here in this situation. They are far away. How far? Could be right here. Maybe not far. maybe local. No reason why it couldn't be. So the who and the what and the why, if you just fill in the blanks, it's all you can kind of do. So you might have your best assessment, your best version, or most ideal, or you might just be like, oh, I'm open to whatever. I don't know. I'm not set on one particular thing, but I doubt it, because it's almost like favorite colors. There's gonna be one that no matter what you like more than the others, and it just sits better with you. Probably you want to see the good, like we all do. Let me ask you this. If I came here and I said, I'm from somewhere, but I can't prove it to you, you just have to take my word for it, would you have any reason to doubt me? Never met me, don't know anything about me. All you know about me is I've just been honest, told you things. I'm telling you, I'm from somewhere really far away. What reason do you have to doubt me at all? What if I said it was slightly farther away than that? And then, what if we saw something and said, hey, wow, wonder if we could do this. Turns out you can do that. And then we find, Bob, right? Bob? So whoever there might be here now, I don't know. It does seem like a lot of people think three different, But then what, this extra, like the wild card? Okay, so this kind of, you could say, the energy in the room changed. The whole mood shifted. So everything will go back, and then all of a sudden, you sort of feel like you pulled back out of something. Like that feeling of like leaving the movie theater. It's like a stasis change. Like you're, it's like decompression. It's like moving from one area to another. It's different. It's like when your ears pop going in the mountains. Get that feeling. Going to the ocean. I don't know how long people watch and actually just beg. Like, please, like, show yourself. I know you're there. And hear silence, no response. And you try again. And again and again, the next day and the next night. And it's something that never goes away. To a point that you can't help but to, like, it's a part of you, knowing. What you want is not to know or find out. You want just the absolute confirmation set in stone. You want it to be tangible. You're not trying to prove it to anyone or yourself. There's a knowledge, knowing. There's just that gut feeling. But then, what do you do when something is undeniable? I was saying the other day, or yesterday in a recording, our brain is just so based on pattern recognition, making something even out of nothing, out of pure noise. Eventually we'll start to see shapes and shit. The brain can't handle incomplete data. Like, it will fill in the gaps. It will create nonsense rather than have something incomplete. And even though it doesn't make sense, it's counterintuitive because it's incoherent. But the brain would rather fucking live in a delusion than face a broken reality. So it's going to invent something. If we don't have a frame of reference to compare something to, the concept of it, the idea, no matter how plausible or provable, no matter how many videos we see, how much shit, it's never going to be like experiencing it. It's never going to be the same. So then we get to the conundrum paradox, right? Something is just being shown to you. You can't bring it with you. You can't take it. You can't capture it or the moment of it or the experience of it. You can't record it. You can't measure it. Yet it happened. Why is this so fucking fantastic? Why is this just a brain stretch? Because your brain can't comprehend until it's something concrete we can refer to. You're just an AI data set that can generate its own abstractions and data. It's like you can generate new data. Not everything is based off what you've learned. You can make silly nonsense languages. But then again, AIs have created languages. We pretty much do, you can only operate off of your experiences and memory. But the thing is, I could tell you about my girlfriend, my wife, my whatever, cousin, whatever it is, my friend. And I'm telling you this stories for years and years and years. You don't know. Like, your brain will resist making that a fact until you're just like tortured. Because even when you're tortured, it'll rather have you break than admit that that's a real thing. Until you view it with your eyes, then it's concrete. So I was watching the sci-fi movie, and it was a real good decision. He showed this alien walking, but not the full body, because you've never seen that. You've only seen that in movies and shows. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Generally, we've all seen cars. I can describe any like a fantasy car to you. That's plausible, but you're still not gonna 100% believe it. But you know that it's like kind of a thing, so you're gonna you can see it as a reality. But some kind of alien being walking around with a spacesuit, You've never seen that. Only images of that imagery. So your brain will just, for the first little bit, it could be convincing. Then it's like, yeah, but that's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Now imagine aliens landed on our planet. They're just walking around. It's crazy. Then all of a sudden, somehow everything's like leveled out. It's just normal. Then, excuse me. Then there's kids growing up. They're like, oh yeah, the aliens and everything. So they see a movie, like we see a movie of a human actor. Then we see an animation, a cartoon of a person, right? A guy and a girl in a cartoon. These are drawings. We know they're not real, but it doesn't look artificial or fake to us. We know it represents a real, tangible thing that we've experienced in real life, collectively. You and I have subjectively had an experience that objectively exists, that connects. Where I go, I can go there and see it and then leave. You can also go there and see the same exact thing, modify it. I can come back. That modification is there. I can describe it. It is what you did. So anyway, you see cartoons of Alien, and we have a person in a suit, CGI, looks super realistic. There's no alien movie or show of ever, X-Files, Men in Black, no matter what, no matter how good the makeup is, the best makeup ever, the best CGI, the best shadowing, where the way that we describe it is by saying that looks realistic, but none of the images or movie, none of the stuff you've ever seen of an alien has ever looked realistic. That doesn't make any sense. Realistic to who, what, where, when? Where's your reference frame? What's your source? You're talking about goat, pig, man, bear, dog, bird. This is the most realistic one of those. There is no such thing as that tangibly that we've seen that you can say this recreation looks realistic, doesn't it? No. That's like saying a realistic unicorn. Look at this realistic drawing of Santa Claus. Doesn't it look like the real Santa Claus? Do you see what I mean? Doesn't make any fucking sense. There's no such thing as realistic alien representation visually. There could be something that which does align with the reality of potentially those beings that do exist, but we have not had that happen. That isn't, it's kind of, I'm not saying that it's not possible. It's kind of like, well, hey, maybe in 100 years, jetpacks are just like Android phones. Everyone has one. They're all just laying in the garage. It's like, oh yeah, everyone has jetpacks. You learn to fly them when you're like 10. There's ones for kids. Well, that we could do that, but we didn't. So I could describe hypothetically, and I could show you a movie of that whole scenario I just described. But it's not. It's never going to be a realistic movie. Like oh, that's a realist. You know what I mean? No, it's never happened. Anyway, there's no way to describe this experience. But then you wonder, could this, it's like you can't be the only person, right? Well, first you question the reality, but you know what you're seeing. But then it's later on, this is what I mean. Your brain is so resistant to there's no way that just happened, but it did. I must have imagined it. And you want confirmation. And guess what? You get confirmation. And you're not imagining it. This goes beyond any kind of mistake or misreading of some variable, like misjudging a situation or not thinking of something or jumping to a conclusion or just being delusional, straight up schizophrenic, or just imagining it, or having too many fucking shrooms that day, smoke too much weed. No. How does somebody stare at me, smiling? I say, what? You know something? I said, yeah. What did I say? You're here to tell me or talk to me or something like that, or like something to do with me? I said, yeah. He's smiling like there's a joke, and he knows the punchline, and I'm gonna know it soon, but not yet, and it's gonna be pretty funny. And it's like, but how do I fucking? I'm in another state, New York. I'm from Chicago. Never been to this place. First time being in the state. No, it was in New Jersey. In public. So, okay. What is it, a crazy person rambling? Why is it lining up with other things and kind of the theme? Right, but anyway, this is unexpected. I said, well, what did I say? I don't know. It was just the look in his eyes, like, there's some things that you know? And he said, oh yeah, or something like, I said, where are you from? And by then I was smiling too. I was like, where are you from? And he kind of shifted his, I don't know, like his eyebrows. And then he got slightly a little less like smiley, a little more serious, and just kind of like looked up, stared up at the stars. And he looked down at me and said, you know. And he smiled again. How come a woman the girl I was with could not have planned for this to happen? That's not possible. I'm the only corroborator. But I experienced it, and she did too. She was just as surprised. So I couldn't have been the only one not in on the joke. And what are the random chances? Maybe, yeah, I could see it's probably a stretch. It's probably a stretch. But the woman stops us and says, hey, something like, are you going yet? This is my fiance at the time. We were engaged, right? She said, are you going? And the girl I'm with said, what? She stopped. We're just walking down the street in Chicago, in the city. There's people everywhere. This woman looked like a gypsy, right? From a movie. I swear to God this happened, dude. And we were not on drugs, nothing. The most bizarre shit. And it progressively stranger and stranger things were happening that we started to talk about it and go, wait, what if like all these fucking weird things have something to do with something, or like with each other? Or, I don't know. Like that's just so bizarre. But the more it's like, what? No. And then later on, the really big deal that comes is it doesn't get any better. Well, it does, I guess, but that's a whole other level. Anyway, this random woman, she says, did you go? Are you going? Or something like this. Oh, are you going to go? You're not going yet? And my girl says, what? And she said, to the beach, she names the beach. And she said, you're an artist, the beach. I guess she could, maybe she guessed. How do you guess the one beach, though? That's ridiculous. There's so many of these beaches. This one was one of the classic ones. But she says, you're going to go. You're going to go and get married. That's what you're planning to do, right? You've been getting ready to go there, to California. She's like, what the fuck is this? That girl that I was engaged to, she gets really paranoid about stuff super easily. She gets really spooked. And this was like, this woman fucking knew like intimate details about her. It's like suddenly, out of nowhere, a random stranger on the street is like, knows that she's engaged, knows me and her are talking about getting married, knows we're gonna talk about going to California, that's not just a thing everyone does. Oh, everyone knows that. Every person in the USA goes to California for their honeymoon and to get married. What? No? Most people just go to like a local church, or they might like go to Hawaii or something. Maybe you could deduce that, like, I don't see how. I don't understand how. What, I mean, unless it's like some Jack Bauer. We gotta get in there. It's like this woman, she's been following us around in life just to freak us out this one random day downtown on a Saturday. What? No, dude, it's some weirdo in the city. How the fuck does she know all these things? But yeah, so she suddenly knows this, says the exact beach, says that she's an artist, and says, yes, you're going to sell your paintings. I know it's been hard, and like, but you're going to be very successful with them. You sold one, or something. Like, she was just saying all these fucking random things that were for sure. This was not like cold reading or like magician's shit. This woman wasn't like out doing anything. She just was weird and walking around and just stopped and like engaged with us. Like as we're walking, she's like, hey, oh, something, you have a beautiful dress. You didn't do that yet? Oh, well, when you get married, you're gonna go there. And like, just started spilling like 10 fucking crucial details in a row. So my girl was freaking out to the point where this woman is like, didn't get, she was just trying to be friendly, and she's like, started to be like, dude, get the fuck away from me. Dude, I'm serious. She's like, get this fucking lady away from me, bro. I'm like, I don't know what to say. It was really weird. I was just kind of observing it happen. Like, there wasn't really time to like think and analyze anything. It was just fucking happening. And she's like, dude, fucking what the fuck? You know how like you might be at a party drinking and it's all fun and games, everyone's joking, then somebody just starts saying fucked up shit, and it's still kind of that joking mood. But then it's like, dude, what? Get the fuck away from me. I'm not kidding. But then they're still like, oh yeah, they're still saying the thing. It's kind of like that vibe. And I just kind of like, I don't know, I think maybe I put my arm around her. I don't remember specifically, but it was just so fucking weird. She said this stuff. I didn't really think anything about it. It's just very bizarre. Later on, we're trying to drive somewhere. Everything kept redirecting us. Everything kept just fucking getting in our way, redirecting us. It was almost like trying to escape a maze. No matter what, it was just all this fucking weird shit. Then the car stopped working. Completely just turned off, no power. I don't know why. Just no bad, like the power was just dead. Completely dead, no power. No starter, no lights, ignition, nothing. So we had no choice but to sit there. I think we were trying to figure out what to do. Her phone, at the time we had like those Nokia type flip phones. Well, that was, some people had those kind still. And I forgot what I had. But it wasn't smartphones. Hers was like one you flip open. And I might have had like a Nokia too, but like a bar phone. Yeah, I think so. I'm thinking about the ringers. But so the electronics in the car were done, and so she's trying to text, and her phone like powered off. It was like, it just wouldn't work. It kept turning off, and it was like the screen would fucking turn on and light up, and then it would go and turn off. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was just broken, like not working. Would not. She's like, oh, whatever, man. Just fucking fuck it. And she would just like slam it closed and throw it in her purse. Like, I'm sick of this fucking thing. A whole bunch of other weird shit happened. The story is to go into. But the key thing to remember about that, it's like a whole like mini adventure happened. A whole mini adventure. Very bizarre things. But only figured out in retrospect. Somehow, as we're there by the Lake Michigan, overnight, it starts to get light. It was like light is breaking. And it starts to get lighter and more. And just put the key in the ignition, turn it, ding, 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 just works for no reason. Like, what? Okay, I guess the fucking universe is done trolling us. Just stuck us here. Like, we couldn't figure out why there's no power. If your battery is dead like that, like there were no bad connections or anything. This is like a newer kind of car. There's nothing wrong with it. Which, after this happened, there was still nothing wrong with it. There's no reason for this to have happened, and I still don't know why this happened. It does not make any sense. Except we were driving around. There's other stuff that connects to this story, which, like I said, in retrospect, thinking back on it, how come the normal the normal operation of the car was interrupted? How come? For what reason? You tell me. Because suddenly it wasn't the gas. This was like a power thing, and the battery was fine. It's all brand new shit in there. It wasn't like dead or anything. If a lead acid battery dies, it can't just sit there and suddenly be okay again. It's not going to have charge. It's going to need to be charged. It wasn't. And then it's going to be diminished. It's not going to have full power. If you charge it some or jump it, you have to run your alternator, and charge it up. Or you might have to take it off. That's why sometimes you might see people with their car or truck and they got the charger hooked up to it because they let it go too low. So you might leave it overnight, trickle charge it, whatever. Anyway, it was just kind of bizarre. It just reminded me of some fucking movie shit, It's like, why? This is fucking crazy. It just started up, so the whole time she kept trying her phone, too, until she gave up. It was like periodically she'd try again. Didn't work. But one of the things that happened is that the car, shutting down, the phone shutting down, us ending up there in the precise, perfect spot where we had a blanket and we put it in the grass and we're watching the sky and we're seeing these lights. Dude, what the fuck is that? There's no, it got so regular, and, not constantly all crazy shit. It just became so commonly regular, and just expected that it was not surprising anymore. It was it was just a given. It was, it was casual. It was like, dude, what next? This is insane. This is after asking, begging, please, please, please. So take combine two people. The one person doing the same thing separately somewhere else, growing up their whole life, coming together with someone else of the mindset of let's just be pure love. Let's not hate anyone or anything. Let's just be compliant with the universe. Of hey, whoever want to come here, we want to talk to you. Man, one day, it's going to be cool. And then, just fantasizing about it, talking about it, comes up a lot, Then just, like I said before, another person who it's just kind of a part of them to be always searching, looking, watching the skies, watching the stars, wanting contact, hoping for it, just fantasizing about it, dreaming about it, wanting nothing more than to find someone, and they're like, yeah, I got my ship, come with us, dude. The implications of that, or visitors coming here, just living in that like fantasy dream as like a sci-fi kid growing up in like, you know, like fucking the mid and late 80s and early 90s or mid 90s, late 90s, all around that time. But then you have two people with no kind of malicious or, you know, malevolent intentions toward this external species or each other or even any internal conflicts with one another, just wanting for there to be peace and like unity between people and just try to get along and do better. What else would you want? If you're gonna come here, you want to see us do good, you want to find some people who are like pure, you know. So we were thinking about it and talking about it and saying, you know, show us. So we're seeing all this weird stuff happen. The car had shut down, the phone had shut down, but this gave us a chance to like unwind and relax because we were getting super stressed about a lot of things, and this was super important because she was being attacked by these people, and there's pretty much an evil person who was super toxic, real scumbag who was just harming my girl, you know, really causing her like a lot of anguish and mental stress, like really to a point where it's just fucking terrible. When the car like finally decided it's just randomly, oh, now you can leave. It was almost like, oh, you know, side mission complete. It was just like an edit. It was like, wait. Yep. Just redirect you over here. Put you in this pocket. This unplausible situation, like illogical thing. Nope, now it all makes sense. Never mind, you're fine. It's like to the outside viewer, like, why are you guys just fucking sitting here all night wasting time, like doing nothing? You're seriously like, you're not stranded in the city overnight. That's crazy. We didn't sleep because we're both kind of manic about nighttime, you know. We stay awake all night till it gets light, then maybe go to sleep for a few hours. So it wasn't about like, oh no, where are you going to sleep? Oh, we're stuck in the city. Oh, we're so far away from home. Good thing we have a car. It was more like, dude, we're just chilling. We put a blanket down. We're looking over the lake, right? And yeah, it's like, wait, what the heck is that? Progressively until I don't know what to say anymore. Then the one thing that was persistent, there's a red light orb. You see what's on the screen right here. There's no way to color correct this. This photograph, this is what you'll see. That's the picture I took. Why can't anybody ever get a high quality picture? We got phones. And that's like impossible to just fucking whip your phone out and open it and get to shit and settings and fucking think, am I getting abducted? Let alone try to focus it. It's, you know, plus, how common is that really going to be? Really? I don't know. But, I got a picture. There you go. You want to see it up close? That's what you're going to see. I don't know what else you want to see. Ball of light. There's nothing there, just glowing. Glowing is there. It's pretty much what was sitting up over the lake overnight. A bunch of people ended up sitting there. Then we left, and it was still viewable. We went to sleep, so then when it was daytime, it was just not there anymore, I guess, and just we went about our day. But it was in the news, and it was like, yeah, strange, mysterious lights over the lake. They also appeared in Indonesia. So you can look at, hopefully it should still be up there. Jakarta, Indonesia, red orbs. And you can see the one I'm talking about. Mysterious red lights over Lake Michigan. We watched this red, bright, glowing ball of light. You can see that it was sitting above the water, far out enough where it's like it's far enough away from people, but it's just kind of like, yep, I'm still here. I'm still right here. Just so I'm gonna come about this close to you guys. It didn't really move. So what are you gonna do if you're asking for a response? Then there's a response, but you're not able to bring it back with you. It's like a dream. You could just describe it only. So I understand the hypocrisy, the contradiction, and I don't expect or want anything from you or anyone listening. I'm not trying to do anything. I don't want to convince anyone of anything at all. If you need me to say that again, just rewind. Listen to it over and over and over and over and over. I'm not up here. I'm not up here trying. I'm not up here trying to do. And I'm not up here trying to do anything. I'm not anywhere. I don't want to convince anyone of anything. I can only tell you the truth and the facts. I always say, if I was going to make some shit up, it'd be way better than the only little bit of handfuls of not normal, unexplainable, and if true, beyond our understanding of this physical reality and therefore paranormal thing. How do you differentiate? This is the thing. Say you're dating a schizophrenic, yes? And they say, yes, I'm schizophrenic. I see shit. I had a friend who was schizophrenic, and he said, it's annoying because he is super good basis in reality. And he just says, my brain just creates fucking fake shit. I can't help it. He said, what's the worst thing about it? This is bizarre. Like, literally, this kid, Leon, he said the worst thing about it is that I don't know if you're real. I was like, dude, I am real. He's like, I know, but of course you would say that even if you weren't real. That you'd be saying you're real, and I'm saying I don't know if you are or not. Anyone here could. And he said, for example, the guy sitting next to you? Or the chair next to you? I said, yeah. Wait, what? He said, is there somebody sitting in the chair next to you? And I said, no. It's just me and you. He said, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And he said, just like I see you, there's someone sitting there and he's looking at me say this to you, and he's smiling. And I can reach out and touch him just like I could reach out and touch you. But if I look away, he might not be there. And you might not be there, but you might have left the room when I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. It's like, whoa. Trippy shit, dude. One time he said he saw glowing particles when I was meditating. It's like what you see in the sun. Or I see. Other people have described this. I was like, what are you talking? How can you can see that too? It was like a Super Matrix type moment, right? He said, yeah, they're like swirling around above you. They're little translucent kind of swirling dots. And I said, yeah. And it's kind of flowing like oil. And he said, yeah, like a waterfall, like smoke. Nobody else can see it though. Somebody else I knew would tell me these things, and I said, you understand, you've had traumatic experiences as a child, right? Yes. Okay. You do admit we understand a lot of how the human brain operates, right? We can show certain kind of trauma can create hallucinations. A certain mental state that can create things that are not real. So I said, how can you prove to me, and how, more importantly, can you prove to yourself that what you experienced wasn't a hallucination? You see some fucking paranormal weird shit, you're by yourself. How do you know you didn't imagine it? Like, an actual dude just walks around the corner right now as I'm talking. He goes, hey, what's up, man? It's a straight up gray alien. I'm like, holy fuck. He just walks back around the corner, leaves. Literally happened. Just like if it was my friend, but I know who my friend is. He comes around the corner. Hey, what are you doing? I go, huh? And he just walks around the corner and walks away, and he's gone. And I turn around, I look around the corner, but he already left. You know, he made it to the front of the building, turned, and I don't see him. Well, did I imagine my friend? Well, no, we know my friend is a real thing. That's plausible. But what if my friend was in Wyoming and I'm in Massachusetts? But I swear to you, I just saw him. That was him. Do you think it's more likely that somehow there was some weird fucking space-time teleportation, paranormal ghost shit? Or maybe something is wrong with your mind if you're claiming something that's impossible happened. So now let's just add to this equation the variable of in the past, it's been provable. Like, you have demonstrated creating fantasy in your mind. You know that this is a thing already. This has been established. Now, moving forward, you're still going to claim that these fantastic things you experienced, that it's not possible it was invented by your brain. You think it's more likely that this complete fantasy shit happened to you, that you, rather than the known thing where schizophrenia leads to hallucinations, which you have been diagnosed with. Like, you've how are you going to see hallucinations and know, but then be so intellectually dishonest with yourself and then to others to go, oh no, it was the ghost of my friend for sure. No, this is different. This is real. Trust me, bro. You know, trust me, bro. Anyway, there was once I saw something in the darkness, or twice. Well, you tell me what I experienced. Because what was that? What was that, though? I think that was some, I mean, this really this actually took place. This took place. And there's no, like, you have to wonder, were there other signs of anything, or any hallucinogenic drugs, or any kind of mental stress, or episodes, or breaks, or other type of thing, or a history of... No. I'm talking about normal, everyday shit, mundane, middle of the day, sunlight. You're locking your door, just like I'm walking back and forth. Okay, I'm here, I'm locking my door. I lock it, I turn around. I almost ran into this really tall dude in a black fucking trench coat. He was standing right behind me, dude. He walked up right behind me, I guess, silently, because I didn't hear him. I must not have been paying attention. I don't know. But here's the thing. I couldn't get a good look at his face or anything, because how I just described it, I'm over here, I'm locking my door, right? Okay, check it out. You're locking your door, you lock it, you turn around. Oh, you almost slammed into someone? He disappeared, and it was like a fucking little thing of smoke. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Oh God, all over my back and my whole body, my arms. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Just how I described it, that's how it happened. I'm just standing there like, what the fuck was that? What are you talking? What? The only thing, like, what popped in my mind right at that moment, after I thought, what the fuck? I looked up, and, like, me and my friend were talking about gargoyles, and we climbed up on that roof the night before, and we jumped down right there, and I don't know, the sound of the rocks in the alley reminded me of that moment, and just, it was just so fucking, it was so fucking weird. What was that? What? It actually was some kind of damn entity of something, someone, some watchers type looking ass. Some M. Night Shyamalan fucking dimensional fucking fringe, sci-fi show. Christopher Nolan, fucking Steven Spielberg looking ass. Get your bitch ass out of here. That's a movie. What? Hold on. Wait, pump the brakes. That was real? Someone is there. Maybe they only make one mistake. Maybe it was the editor. It was the editors. He was fucking around. That's fucking crazy, dude. Because I felt like I was going to slam into this person. It was like a tall, like Brendan Lee, the Crow type vibe, dude. I don't know how to describe him. It was like black face, like no face was there from the quick flash of like a split second image of seeing it. It's like reminding me of like the Undertaker, but like if you took a picture, it's just like his face was like a shadow. It was like hair hanging down, black hat, black long trench coat, tattered black clothing, all black. It's just like a really tall stance, like 7 feet tall. Like I would have slammed into his chest, my face. And I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. There's nothing you could say or think about it. I didn't go like, I saw some weird, like, probably just didn't say anything. There's nothing to connect that to. There's nothing else even in the ballpark. So it's, that really took place. I don't understand. I don't get it. Anyway, we always tried to hunt for ghosts and stuff. Never found anything like that. There's been weird shit when we were little, unexplained. But, I don't know. One other thing, I was in my grandmother's garage. Yeah, I turned on the light. There's a bunch of boxes. And I went, it was a pull chain. And just right in the air in front of me, it wasn't there, and it just kind of like went up and in front of me. Like when you have a cigarette, when you light a cigarette and you take a drag, and as soon as you let go of the pressure that you're pulling, you're like, as soon as you let go, then that smoke starts going back out the end. Imagine if you just let a little puff of that smoke come out the end, like, and then you pulled the cigarette away real quick and just had the smoke floating there. That's what happened. And I just watched it like dissipate into the air. And I was like, what the hell? What was that? What was that, dude? Anyways, I don't know. Maybe those were some Matrix moments, but this other UAP type, goofy, all these things were connecting, right? This girl, the same thing, same time, when that happened, we were asking and meditating, and we were like, yes, we love each other, we love you, we want you to come here, we mean you no harm, we just want peace, we want to be with you, we want to be a part of you, we want you to be here. We're thinking this independently while we're meditating and like holding hands and just like sitting there being total hippies. We're like, dude, come on, please show yourself. Then we're saying this stuff out loud. then we'll just kind of like bullshit, and we're talking and like, dude, something, what if, whatever. Then just put it this way. Our question was answered. Okay? You remember what I said in the beginning? I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm not here to fucking tell you some stories. There's nothing interesting happening here. What did you do today? What did you eat? What are you gonna do later? By the way, this also happened to me, factually. So they showed us some things. After that, I don't know how many days. I don't think that was, I don't know. This is an ongoing topic, but it wasn't a constant obsession. It was a very strong recurring theme. It wasn't like forgotten and, oh yeah, remember that? No, it was just like, it was always ever present. But we had a lot of interests and stuff, whatever. It wasn't like constantly, you know how some people might think you're always thinking about them? Well, not always. Like, I do other shit, you know? So we were just doing other shit. And we're at the park by this church where we hang out. This is what happened. Listen, in real time. We're like, whoa, what the fuck? We look up. I don't know. You, I guess I have to tell the rest of the story okay, she says, dude, one of us is like, dude, what the fuck? And so for about 30 seconds, this loud, vibrating, clanking thing, and then it just like stopped. It was like, flying, like, now that I think about it, this is way before Cybertruck was a thing, but imagine if you took a whole bunch of Cybertrucks and just kind of chopped them up into random pieces and then turned it into like a spaceship shape, kinda. I don't. Imagine what's that? Like the Star David, but in 3D. But like half of one, like a tetrahedron, like a triangle from the bottom. I don't know. It wasn't something you could really pinpoint. That's the thing. But it just looked like it looked like a DIY alien spaceship. I don't know what else to say about that thing. But maybe man-made. But it was flying stupidly low to the ground. We thought, we're going crazy. Or what? I don't know. But we just both were like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand because yeah, she's like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know, what is it, dude? What is that shit? We're holding each other's hands so fucking tightly in awe, and just I think we stopped and we're staring at it, staring up, and it was kind of like gaining altitude a little bit and just going. Yeah, we just kept saying, like, no, seriously, what the fuck is that, though? I, like, I would say that, and she's like, I don't fucking know. What is it, though? Like, what is it? I'm like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. What is that? It's the weirdest feeling, because you can't even say what you think it is. You don't know. I don't know. What was that? It wasn't a plane, or I don't know. It was flying though. It was metallic. It looked like it had a lot of rivets, like thousands of rivets, thousands and thousands, and panels and angles, dark gray. I don't know if it was that night, later on, the next day. I had my station wagon, right? I had a Volvo station wagon. It was sick. The boxy one. Man, so many fun things you can do in those. So this is okay. Yeah, I still don't get it. We fell asleep in the front of my car at like 4 in the morning. And then it was just like 5 in the morning. I look, my back is open. The seats are down. And like the door's open. Like we were laying down, which we do sometimes. But I was still sitting in the seat. Like I hadn't done anything that would give any indication that I had transitioned from like sitting in my car driving person mode, me and my girl, to you were just laying in the back. It's very, it's real easy to tell. Like if you were laying in the back and then you happened to somehow be in the front again, like you're probably barefoot, maybe even shirtless, stuff out of your pockets, etc. Pillow, blanket. No, it was like set up to look like we were. She was gone. So what? I call her phone is off. Eventually figure out, she's like, what the fuck happened? She was at home in bed, like fully clothed underneath the blanket. I'm like, how did you get home? What do you mean? But I had to go to her house. Like I couldn't get a hold of her on the phone. She didn't know how she got home. She didn't remember leaving the car. There's another time way later after that. Nothing happened. There's many other interactions with a situation where there was some kind of presence. It's a for sure thing. It's a real thing. Communication. I want you to know that this is true. I can't say I want you to believe me. I don't want you to just take my word for it and I do believe in that. It's like, no. Understand that this is true. There was contact. So I'm hoping there can be other, I don't know, something tangible that can be shared or corroborated or something. Maybe it's just never going to happen. Anyway, this disclosure and all this other stuff, this is like a perfect time to be talking about it. It was already going to be a good time, but it's even better now. It seems like there's certain things that if there's some kind of interference, it's not meant to be known by some people, or it's not meant to be spoken about in such detail, maybe perhaps in such volume, or to somebody not receptive enough or not yet. There's some things you can tell people that if you tell this to them at nighttime and they're not ready to go to sleep, you can induce unconsciousness in this person by telling them certain information. The brain takes one piece of this information and it starts firing all your neurons. Really starts consuming a lot of energy. If you keep expanding on this idea, it's pretty much going to be pushing to its limit. So you can only sustain this burst for short periods of time, then you start to get burnt out. And you're compounding that with many ideas, and you're doing them in a deluge, like a non-stop flow of just bombarding them. You put somebody to sleep by just telling them this complex. So this you probably have understand this from. You could fall asleep. You're like, oh yeah, I was just droning off, but it could be from hearing mundane information, which seems to drone on forever, or it could be hearing something complex that you're digesting mentally. You're taking it in. It's like, wow, dude, you just said a lot. Like, I need time to process that. Especially someone who isn't used to these complex kind of frameworks and just diving into them and switching from one to another and expanding on them and including fantasy things and hypothetical and just the stressors of life and like just all this and oh god, okay, like some people just can't even. They're like, oh god, all right, just I don't know, I just want to like watch this thing or whatever. Like, yeah, I get it. Even people, you might be into that kind of deep thought, but you're like, oh, not right now. These people get this damn fantasy all mixed up with actual real things, like realistic things, and then by the time you're like getting sucked into some story and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Oh man, I thought this was serious. You're like, never mind. But then that's the conundrum, the paradox. It's like, I can't show you. If you told me this, I'd be skeptical, because I have to be. I'm gonna be. I know I've had some things I've seen and experienced, and there has been some type of a connection with something real or someone, and interaction and some types of communication. Then it hasn't happened. And I guess we always want to immediately think, oh, how does it work? Why? How and why? Well, just, I don't know. Sometimes just think of the thing, because these are things that just took place. Um, it might just be you had to be there. You had to be there. uh, when you see it, you'll know. And if you want, I think if you might have to be in a correct mentality, maybe not have anything toxic, kind of threatening about you, in a way, if that makes sense. There might have to be something like relevant about you, or pertinent, per se. It's not for just every person in the world to be like, oh, hey, you know. I think, anyways, I don't think it would be. And there's no way to get around the fact of like, okay, if this happened to you, yeah, you are very special. That this might not happen to anyone else, or just a couple people, or even a million people, but hey, you're one of those million out of all the billions. It's like you are one of the people that got to drive the race car. You drove the NASCAR car. Oh, you think you're so much better than me? Well, I drove that car. You didn't get to drive the car. I did. It was awesome. I don't know. I'm one of the people that drove the car. Hell yeah, dude. You're one of those people? Yep, me too. Whoa. Isn't it cool? See, but that's the ultimate. Make a good movie plot. One of my primary core favorite ideas. It's like the one dude is searching for others who've had that experience. I think they probably have made something similar. Somebody has. But not this specific thing. So anyway, one day, I'm walking down the street. I'm getting tired, sorry, I had to yawn. Walking down the street in the suburbs. Let me guess, I grew up in the suburbs. I had a good family. Mom and Dad got along. Oh, how does it go? Went to a good school, got good grades. Just walking. There was a weird ass plane, but it, hold on. Actually, what is it? It's like, what the heck? That's weird. That's not a plane. What the fuck is it then? It was white and it was just shaped fucking weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I kept walking toward the main road. Like, just absolutely not letting this thing get out of my sight. Walking around the trees, making sure I can still see it. I don't want it to disappear. And I was like, man, whatever. I think probably my neck was hurting by then. But it was just still kind of there, flying really, really high. It looked like, I don't know, some kind of experimental looking shape of like an airplane or something, but not an airplane. It didn't look like a plane. It looked like 2-3 dimension, like way too much 3D shit happening. It wasn't like sideways, 2 wings, left, right, and a thing sticking up. It was like way too many things sticking out and too much going on. I don't understand. Clear as day. It was way up in the sky though, and it was like, what in the actual fuck is that, dude? It was flying weird. Well, it was just flying straight, but it was just kind of fucking, I don't know. It just looked really bizarre. And then there were people, and I just saw them, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? They were loading their car or unloading it. It was a family. I said, hey, you see that thing? I think it was one of the kids. And he's like, what? I said, look at that. Look right there. What is that? And he's like, huh? Hey, Mom, what is that? She's like, what? He's like, look. And the girl looks. Whoa, what is that thing? And then the dad, it's like, oh, you know, it's like, seriously, like, they're like, huh, I don't know. That's weird. And the mom just kind of brushed it off. But the kids are just like fascinated, staring at it. Whoa. I thought it was that it looked like some, like, you know, the Y Wing, you know, the X Wing in Star Wars? They have the Y Wing. Kind of look like that, but with more shit connected to it, maybe? I don't know. I kept walking. I was walking around. Later on, it was night. It got dark. I walked back again, the same path I always walk, down that street. This is the thing, the one. You see this photo? This is a different time. The thing in this photo is farther away. I get to this main street, across the street. It's like late at night, completely abandoned, deserted. Eerily, oddly deserted, which does happen there, but only at like 4 a.m. for a little while. Then it's a car here and there. But for a tiny little sliver of time, there's like a brief moment in that suburb where it's like a ghost town. It's like absolute eerie silence. But it was only like 9 p.m. or something. But there was like some traffic. I was like, okay, I guess. A car here and there. But then I looked down. There's like barely anyone all the way. There's no people. Fine. It's whatever. Nothing was standing out. It was just kind of weird that, like, I'm walking, I'm like, huh, that's weird. There's like no people anywhere. What the heck? Okay. Huh. You just kind of stop and look. I'm already starting to get a weird feeling. Walk over. There's a restaurant. It's closed. It's like a daytime restaurant, you know. There's a guy standing there against the wall, just like looking down. And I was like, okay. I think I lit a cigarette, which is like what I want to do right now. Pretty sure I did, because that's why I would go over there. I'd go over there and smoke. It was like I'd walk all the way over there, hang out, walk all the way back. So I'm like, this is way before COVID and everything, before society got so antisocial. Still pretty antisocial, but not even close to this. So it was like kind of just, I mean, I guess, but you would expect this more in the city, to just be completely ignored. Like it does happen like sometimes, but generally more in that, like that kind of, I don't know why there's some dude standing by the fucking restaurant at night against the building, but whatever. I was just standing there. As far as he's concerned, I'm not a person. I don't exist. He didn't look at me, didn't move. I'm like, all right, whatever. This guy just wants to have his privacy. That's fine. I don't know what he's doing. He might be drunk. Just looking down, I couldn't really see him too good. So just put yourself in that POV, right? Point of view. I'm just standing here. Okay. Smoke my cigarette, I guess. No. Not trying to be awkward or anything. Just chilling. It's whatever. So I'm like looking at the sky, looking at the lights, the street lights. Can't help like turning my head just barely a little bit, just so that my peripheral vision can pick up the fact that, like, you know, like when you're in public and you don't really want to stare at someone, but you kind of want to, like give them the peek eye, you're peeking, you're being sneaky because you're tribal. You want to make sure they're not a killer. I don't know, I can give this guy the side eye. Yeah. Okay, he's cool. Anyway, it's like he's still just there looking down. I think he had like his leg against the wall. And I was like, what the heck? It's starting to get weird, dude. I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to walk away and leave. At whatever point, from nothing, darkness. Imagine if I took a road flare, lit it, but it didn't make that sound like shh. If I just lit it, you saw a video of this, but I muted the sound in the video. Just imagine a road flare, lighting, getting brighter, brighter, and it starts to hover upwards at a 45-degree angle. Another one manifests into the air right next to it. Oh my God, I'm getting chills right now, dude. I should take a picture right now as I'm recording this. I got goosebumps all over my body. A third one, a little smaller. And they're silently gliding upwards, almost a 45-degree angle. Slightly less, maybe 35 degrees. Going upward, gradually increasing the angle, silently, pulsing, glowing. Just an emanation of light that you could tell it was coming from a center point. But it was absolutely just unrealistically way too bright for anything to be there and be casting light, creating that. You'd need a big spotlight or like a street light, but still, even then you see the bulb. There's nothing that can do that. Like a welder, like when you have the welding mask and you see that little tiny pinpoint and it's like making a blasting, just glowing, how this picture looks. Except you could see through it. You could see that it was shifting and like dimming and getting brighter and smaller, like pulsating. And it was like cycling through colors. Like the colors weren't stationary. And I was just frozen, staring at these things. Like, it was the most beautiful thing ever to see. I don't know. It was so bright. It was like my skin, the light was turning everything red. It was so bright. I couldn't understand or right away make sense of it. I thought I couldn't think. I don't know. I couldn't think right then. And by the time I realized that I was consciously trying to have the thought of like being aware that I was thinking, if that makes sense, like you're in the moment, then you're consciously aware that you're thinking about it, you know, like you're thinking about yourself in the situation from third person perspective, kind of like, whoa, what's happening right now? Oh my God, I'm here, that thing is there. What is that thing? No. All of a sudden you just realize it's like images of thoughts are popping into your head. Flare? Chinese fireworks? Not even the idea or concept of you thinking and being there and witnessing lights in the sky that just came out of nothingness and are flying right in front of you. No, it's just, then after that you start to think coherently, and then you're like, wait, what the fuck? Then you're like, what are those? Then your brain just, it's like a waterfall. And that's when the actual, like, reality starts. And the mild shock of, like, understanding you're witnessing something fucking unexplainable right now. And upon that realization, every part of you just wants to stop and experience it and see it and let it happen, because you know it's something profound and special, and it's going to be gone as quick as it came, and then it is. And you're just standing there in awe, not even ready to start thinking. You're just, let me just take it in. What the hell fucking was that just now? Oh my God. They cruise up into the cloud and eventually are out of your view. I'm standing there. As soon as I can't see them anymore, I look to the right. Like, aggressively, I look to the right. Right at the guy this time. I'm not trying to be coy at all. Just, I look right to him. He did not see them. He did not notice them. He did not move. When I looked over at him, he looked up, looked over at me, and turned and walked away around the corner. And I'm just, I wish you could see my face right now. Excuse me, what? I just stood there. I don't want to know. I'm not going around that corner. I don't, nope. That man, nope. Mm-mm. I don't know. Then I'm standing there. And I'm like, I really need a cigarette, but I just had one. Okay. Yeah. And that was it. Went home. My friend told me once he went to his backyard. He went to the shed. Uh, and there was a shadow that came over, a circular shadow. And he's like, dude, he's telling me this 100% like factually. He's not the kind of person that would make things up. And he'd be embarrassed to like tell this kind of story, but he's like, fuck, I have to tell someone. He said some kind of a craft was above, is like silent and gray, metallic. It looked like a saucer, And his brother was on the back porch, and he tried to scream, but no sound would come out of his mouth. And he's like, he couldn't scream. And then he was like trying to do the sound, and it was like he was screaming, but nothing was like, there wasn't sound. Like, I don't know. It wasn't like you're trying to scream, but you can't make noise. It was almost like he said he was screaming, but it wasn't like making sound. It's like it just wasn't happening. Like, but he was screaming, but so his brother couldn't hear it. And then the thing went higher up, and then it just went away. And as soon as it was like the shadow was off of him, he was like, "Hey!" and started screaming normal. And his brother immediately was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" And he's like, "Dude, you didn't just fucking see that? What the fuck was that? What was that?" And he's like, "Dude, what was what? No, you didn't just see that?" He's like, "Dude, whatever, that's bullshit. It was right there. It was like a ship or something." It's like, I don't know how he's explained it. He's like, "No, I didn't see anything." So I've always had fascination. There's one other thing. I don't know why, but I was telling someone, and I was just describing that recently in a video. Uh, it's I don't understand. I don't know why. There's something about abduction, but in reference to alien abduction. Hearing that and saying that one word has some kind of something that just resonates with me on such a deep level that I don't get it. It doesn't. I don't understand. There's nothing else. Just what it happened to be. It just happened to be the one thing that it is more intense than anything. Okay, fine. I'll grant that. But how then explain this? How did it happen before pop culture? Maybe what? Okay. Let's try to say maybe a real world event, an abduction, right? Still doesn't make sense. I'm talking about the very specific idea. So then, well, we could brush it off as, yeah, there's nothing special. A million people have thought that. Okay, fine. I'll tell you if I hear a story, again, it's going to be the double standard. I'm going to think it's probably made up or not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Because I don't know. Who knows? Could be making that shit up and just I have no idea. Maybe you're tripping. Um, hmm. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Maybe that'd be a cool sound effect. Sample that. I just banged the phone into a piece of metal. Um, if somebody else told me all these things, that's different than me telling you. Okay? I'm me. This is me telling you. There's nothing else like this. All right? It's not the same as anyone. Not similar. Totally unique. Um, I don't know. There's always one thing that I identified with and thought about and thought would be cool to actually find out that it happens. Then to see this happening in movies and in shows and everything. I had thought of that, but I didn't know how to put it into words, picture it, draw it. I don't know. But the movie, The Flight of the Navigator? Oh, God. This is like, yeah, this is supposed to be me, right? It's my destiny. So then, fast forward to later, and you're like, man, dude, in a heartbeat, would you go with them if they said, here's our ship? But what if they said, you can come to our planet, but it takes so long that, like, you'll not be able to come back here ever again? I don't know. Maybe you reach a point in your life where you're like, you know what? I don't know. When we grew up, the idea of that, there's that movie I just reviewed recently. Spoiler for that movie. Well, there's in a lot of movies, but something, was it like The Arrival or something? They came and they're like, we're gonna take some of you take you back with us, and then they got ready and they left. Like, would you do it? You're hoping and wanting to do that. You can't think of anything else in the world more fascinating, more mind-blowingly, just profoundly fucking prolific, mega, insanely epic thing. Something that no other human on earth can do or is doing. And it's so far and above and beyond any human ability or capability. It's the biggest thing that ever happened to people. And it's such a new thing and so drastically new that it doesn't even have anything to compare to for scale. And you're like, absolutely, absolutely. So to even just see a glimpse of that is like, it's like you're melting, like in part of your dream. It's just the best thing you could ever possibly imagine or hope for. And, enter the true skeptic, but accepting to a point the premise that, yeah, we exist here, whatever here is, whatever this is. We can't prove it or disprove it or whatever, but it's the steak tastes, smells, and acts like a steak. It quacks like a steak. Would you fuck a duck in the back of a pickup truck if you and self were fact? In, would you fuck a duck in the back of a pickup truck if you in fact yourself were a duck? No? What are you talking? Why not? I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can go. But stay grounded in reality. Got the skeptical mind, scientific mind. Then the part that says, whoa, there are things that could bridge the gap between what we call sci-fi, fantasy, fiction, and reality. We've done it before. We'll do it again. It gets more and more drastic. But yeah, I mean, maybe there's pockets of the universe just waiting for us, or we're waiting for them, or we're just gonna coincide. I mean, at some point, there's tribes, villagers. There's still like villages in South America who've never had exposure to the external world. I think there's still undiscovered ones. At some point, they did come in contact with other people, or the people who have, right? They didn't for the longest time. It's unfathomable that something else could even exist. Then upon learning that it does, what the fuck is it? Well, we are people like you. We live on the mainland. Put your spears down. Don't try to eat us. Maybe it won't be a SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligent life. Transmission received. A wow signal. Might be something like that. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be like Independence Day. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be like Trump released the photo, him walking around with the alien. Maybe it won't be. We could do this all day. But what are you going to do when you see with your eyes, you experience and interact. And you know that you can differentiate the line between reality and what you might imagine, what you might want to be true, and what you might indulge in, and just, you really have to be careful because it's so tempting. Just remember, I don't fucking know. I don't know. And don't tell me that you know, because you don't. You can pretend you do, but I mean, that's fine. You're just being typical human. It's pointless. Don't do that anymore, because that's holding us back. There's one thing. We're jumping the gun way too much. We're not anywhere near ready for space. Flight, travel, colonization. That's ridiculous. What the heck? We shouldn't even have pleasure craft. Really. I mean, some. But if one person can own a pleasure craft, like on that type of a scale, it should mean that the majority, the general problems of the world have been solved, and that everybody is at a level of wealth where at least their basic needs are met and they have some kind of excess across some kind of level playing field where we can collaborate more as people sharing an environment rather than being people separate on separate land masses, having differences that, separate and divide us. Most likely this is why, if we were to be visited or meant to be, as far as like an agenda for someone, they're either extremely patient or they're running out of patience, and or they could be, either it's however long it takes or starting to realize, if you were to look at it as a set of variables, or like at some point there's too much to solve. You have to take some parts out and replace them. It's just like an engine. I swear, car engines are the best analogy. It's like the unstoppable analogy. Machine, get it? Machine, because engines. Yeah. Engines are machines, okay? You didn't know that. Shut up. You're a machine. I am a machine. Cyberdyne Systems 101. Yeah, Model 101. Jamie, please. Kind of like we're definitely not ready, but too immature, like in every way. These are the obvious things. Everybody could just keep repeating this. We know that. But what we don't do is what they say in the story. We don't look inward, solve these problems, become content with uncertainty, then try to alleviate suffering. Work on a completely different way of going about everything. But the ones who have the power don't have everyone's best interests in mind. It seems the more power you get and more money equals power to do things and have things, which gives you power to do and have other things. It seems the more you get of that, the more you don't use it for the benefit of the whole. Everyone is here like it's their, like, working on their own earth with them and like some other family and friend or whatever, and that's it. If I was viewing this, boy, what a mess. What a mess. Either way. I don't know. I think if you want to see, then you'll see. But these are some things that happen. There's been the other few occasional sightings, and there were a few recently, about 2 years ago, over here, over the ocean, and it started to get reported also. Then a little bit later, like a few months later, it happened again, and it might have been more than a couple of years. When it was before the drone things were sighted, the Chinese drone. But yeah, a couple months after those sightings, then it was like, it made news that there were a lot of sightings. Like, what was on the news wasn't just the sightings, then it was, the story was this, that there were lots of stories. That was the story itself. Then it just went away. What would you see if someone was doing a mission? You'd see them come and do stuff and then leave, or maybe you'd see a remnant or some indication or some movement, and then you wouldn't anymore. Kind of like mating. Insects and animals, when they annoy you at nighttime, at least realize they can't fuck forever. Fucking assholes. All these creatures and bugs and stuff, animals, when they're making their fucking noises, they're just being Coomer degenerate goons. You know that? Being gooners. Fucking Coomers. Fucking scumbags are just trying to fuck. You hear that frog right now? And that cricket? Oh, nature, it's so beautiful. These are disgusting, sexed up creatures that just want to fuck right now. They want to do graphic pornography right in front of you, naked, dick and balls, slapping around. Okay, I don't know where this is, how we got here. This is what happens. This is what happens when you go on the oldest anarchy server in dark meta Minecraft history. Shut up, fucking cricket trying to have sex, frog having sex. I'm not having the sex. Should I start screaming a thing over and over? Hey, 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 hey. Attract a woman. Hey, hey, what are you doing? Mating. I'm mating with you. Hey, hey. Oh, no, you are? Yeah, hey. I got your attention. Come here. I can't continue this story because in the animal kingdom, rape is normal. Grape, I said grape. Shut up, YouTube. Don't. You're making a mistake. Help. Don't abuse me. The animals are having sex. It's not my problem. By the way, aliens. So, let me just tell you this. Minus, if somebody comes up to you like, yeah, and they say, oh, I can show you this, then it's just hearsay, right? So, hearsay, you hear me say. I'm recording this into my phone, correct? You believe me. You know that that's true. Everything else I just told you, you believe me. You know that that's true. If you don't, I don't know why you're here. That should make you smile. And wow, hell, dude, what the heck? Man, it should give you that feeling of, what if? Man, the possibilities, though. Dude, that's crazy. Wow. for real. It should be like when your friend tells you a fishing story and you know he's not like exaggerating. Like, this really happened. Like, they caught a baby shark and it jumped in the boat. And then they had to get the hook out and it was crazy. Wow, you're smiling. Like, damn, that's nuts. I've never seen that. I've always wanted to see that, you know? That awe, that wonder, amazement, but amplified to planetary and cosmic scales. We're talking about the furtherment of the entire human species of mankind. That's as far as we know, existed on the planet. Everything you've ever known, the implications of that, nothing can be bigger than that. That's something we lost. They want to silence the awe and amazement and wonder, the childlike innocence, curiosity, independence, free thought. Begins with censorship. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe something will happen. It's not something for you to be just dabbling in, or, oh, you're interested. That was cool. Then, I mean, go read a book. This is not a book. This is not for you to read a book. You want to know something real? Well, now you found it. You're looking right at it. You want someone real? You're talking to them. You want an actual connection to something unexplainable? You found it. You're speaking to them. We're not doing any fantasy, which is fun. Hypothetical is fun too, but it's just fun. It's a fling. It's nothing to put a ring on.